We are live, right?
And we are
Live.
live. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Awaken to Joy. I am Shem,
Je suis Mondi.
and this is our Sunday live. If it's your first time, then hiya, and if it's not, then welcome back, Soul Family. How are you all? Bonjour, guten Tag. It depends on where you are in the world. We know you're all over the world.
Say hello.
All of them.
Yeah.
So today we're actually going to be answering your questions as usual, chatting it up, sharing a few experiences. But today we're going to be speaking about what it is the moment after you cross over, the moment after you die, that moment when you leave your body for good, and the experiences we've had around that, and the instance around life reviews and how we've experienced that. So we will do a couple of announcements later, but for now, we'll just welcome in a few of you and let's go. Hey, Deanna.
Hey,
Hey,
Diana.
Stacy.
Stacy. Right to right.
Right to
Aiko.
right. Yeah.
Library Tarot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hiya.
Hi. We saw all you comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, John. Just another avatar.
Hiya.
Glad to see you guys here.
Glad to see you here. Hi, Lulu. um, yeah. So do you want to jump in? Because you had a really interesting week as far as that's concerned. And
Yeah.
I'm glad for it because it was one of those moments that hang on, let me get just one ear because I can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
It was one of those moments where it was like, I'm happy you had the experience because I've been had that experience, but to explain it to someone sometimes, not that you're somebody who doesn't believe me, but to explain it to someone sometimes is a little bit like having to always say, do you get me? Do you understand? Like,
Yeah.
am I making myself clear?
But although you had you one, but it wasn't so long ago though. When you had you
No,
one,
but
it was
I've had plenty since.
um
But this is like
I would
one of your first like times like that. So do you want to like explain it for like the
yeah. I mean ultimately there's so many type of experience you can have, which means that you can only then have your own one anyway to understand what that particular one is for another person.
Yeah.
Anyway, and even if it's a similar experience, you can tell that it's designed for you particularly.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So I had this out of body experience. I didn't even plan on that, but it just happened. But I think I just received some crystals. I think that did it. That was
You think the crystals did
yeah,
it?
because I had a download, and the download was like get this crystal and this crystal. One in particular for a while ago. Like it's
Which
been a while
crystal?
ago.
What crystals were
The
were they?
amber, and they told me as well to get another type of amber as well. But I got that one particularly from the Balkan. I think it's from the Balkan, yeah, Baltic area. Balkan. Well, anyway, something
Say
like
no.
that.
Say how you say it. The Balkan.
Um,
We call it the Balkans. You don't call it the
yeah, yes,
Balkan.
I think it's from that area if I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best one you can source when you're in Europe. Anyway, at least you want it to be genuine, specifically with amber. It's very important that it's a genuine one.
Yeah.
There's a way to find out anyway. I got like a rough piece of it, and just kept it with me under my pillow, and it had a labradorite, I think it's called
Labradorite. Labradorite.
labradorite, whatever that is called. But
It's really pretty and practical.
but I needed to get this specific one,
Mm.
and I had I'm gonna say the way I say it in French, lazurite as well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I had this crystal with me, um, and then I found myself in experience where um there's a scene like an accident that happened, like a sort of like a it wasn't necessarily a car crash, but someone's got knocked by a car.
Were you out of body or were you in meditation and out of body
No.
or?
At this point, I went in bed late that night. So it was right at the time when the veil is thin. Anyway, it was
And your
around
body was
3 to 4 o'clock.
exhausted?
Yeah, I was fairly tired, but I wasn't too tired. It was
No, like not mentally, but like physically
physically,
exhausted.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, then I'm in the middle of this scene, and I realized it's got other people, and I asked the people, "Do you see me?" Some people, and I realized they don't see me, and I wanted to know if they see me because I had an awareness that I was on the other side.
Mm.
Um, and there's this girl, young girl, she sees me. I start chatting to her, and I realize, okay, this is it. That's the one who had the accident. I realized that she had the accident. So I realized she died. She crossed over. But I was with another presence at the time. I was with it's like Ishmael. Some I can't really tell you if it was him, but he was there for a brief moment and then he vanished.
Mm.
And then I went on to talk to her, trying to explain to her that basically she's dead, but by explaining my own story. By saying, I remember an instance at that particular time where I died. But didn't necessarily was talking about how I died or have a remembrance that what was the circumstances of my death. But what it was more about the way I felt when I died. I didn't right away realize that I died. And then I basically when I realized that I felt all the pain came back right in my throat, like I felt a ball in my throat, like I because I knew I was never gonna come back.
Oh.
And I was trying to explain to her my story, thinking that she's gonna get it. That basically she ain't coming back. She's
Mm.
on the other side now. Then we went sat down and I was trying to let her know that we've been trying to reach out to her and telling giving her signs. So I showed her some gloves that I had, and on the gloves, boots was written, and then she had the same written on a part of the donuts she was eating. There was like they were writing like they had some sort of a similar writing, and I was trying to telling her you have to see the synchronicity and all the sign will be sending you. So we've been sending you all these signs. So it's for you to get that we've been talking to you and now you that basically now you are talking directly to us. And I was referring in us, not just me.
Like her many guides, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was on my own. And I wonder why the other dude vanished. But I think it's probably Ishmael that just came in and just did what he had to do and go. I left me with that person. So I had to let her know that basically she's on the other side. That's basically what the whole experience was about. And I was in self realization. This is what I'm here to do. And as a part of the time, she decided, okay, let's go in my car. So I jumped in a car in the passenger seat, and then I'll start sharing stories with her, trying to tell her that, oh, I said to her, oh, I love LA because we're in LA at the time. I say, I used to be here. I used to be a foster kid actually there. And
Mm.
it's funny in my life, I used to be a foster kid here as well.
Mm.
But I say that I say, oh, I really, really love LA. I really love, you know, this place.
Yeah.
But I realize it's her talking. When I start taking myself out of the situation, I realized I was speaking of what she was thinking and realizing slowly that basically as she drives, that she ain't going back. And then then the thing stopped. Everything stopped.
Yeah.
I just came back. Um, and as I came back, I felt, what I was like the distortion. You can see there was a moment of where you come back with the distortions and certain things. But basically, for the most part, this is what it was about. It was about guiding someone and help them realize that they've passed and they crossed over.
Yep.
Yeah, because I had the notion of all of it, but for a while, I
Yeah.
was making sure. That's what I was asking. I realized I was asking people seeing me
Mm.
to find out who can see me and who actually died. Because whoever saw me was on like that was the best. I needed to identify who it was, and one other person saw me,
Mm.
that was there, but that was it. But they didn't really talk. They were like, okay, so yeah.
This is the whole thing I was trying to say. Like, this is what some people do when they're out of body, when they're in their dream state or lucid dream state, or if they remember doing a mission. Some of them are doing missions where they're remembering that, or they're having missions where they're pulling people, like they're at that moment where they're crossing over. They're having to be with them at that moment where they're crossing over, whether they're in hospice or whether they just come up on a scene and they're helping someone realize, by the way, side note, this is real.
Yeah, because my attempt was trying to share my own experience with her, so she gets
What it is.
what it is. Because I started realizing, like, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and as I share it, remembering, yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely, and it was a quite a very specific. It was just, and then another thing as well I noticed is, like, we didn't stay at the scene. There was no observation of the scene or anything like that. Like, because
Yeah.
sometimes in movies they make it like, you pass and you see your body, you see what's going on, the kerfuffle and that. No, it was just, she didn't even realize. She wasn't far. It was business as usual. She gone on with that
She
day.
went in her car and got on about her day, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's what it was. And I realized, at some point, something that felt physical. She took her hand because she had like this writing that was saying the same thing on the glove on the left hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just I picked up her hand and I wanted her to see it. I was trying to show her,
Yeah.
like, yeah, I've been communicating with you all this time. This is yeah.
I think this is where a lot of the confusion lies for a lot of souls, because when you do come out of body, yeah, we be doing submissions out here. And I'm asking, like, the collective, hey everyone, I just want to say, hey Jay, hey
Hey Jay,
Blessed,
hey Blessed.
hey Creo, hey Juliana, everyone who's in the chat, hi. I love to see you lot back in and forth in. I love that. And yeah, so Night Library Tarot has said that rose oil is used to connect sometime with people's souls. Yeah, some people use oils to connect, and this is where your clairsentience comes in, and smelling loved ones and seeing and bringing around sense, using your senses to connect with the other side as well. These are all things that are available for us to just use. They're all senses that each of us have available to us, and some people lean into it, and these are the things you can lean into. Also, John has asked, like, he's been having some trouble calling consciousness into his dreams as of late, and would really like to talk seriously about daily habits that could potentially help. All right, I can answer that one as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will get back onto the frequency of roses. Yeah, unconditional love. When it comes to consciousness in dreams, what I've done lately is trusted the fact that whatever I'm doing is going to be alignment with what I need to know. So if it's a dream that I only feel like I had complete say so over in the dream, or I didn't have any say so, it just kind of unfolded and I let it unfold. A lot of the time, I find out that those are dreams for me that are more like premonition dreams. See what I'm saying? So instead of taking it from a point of view where I don't have something, like I don't have consciousness here, or I'm having trouble with it, I said, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to have the control in this situation. Maybe these are opportunities for me to remain the observer in this situation. And when I've taken it like that, a lot of information has revealed itself to me. I'll let the story play out. I'll be the observer in it. And then usually it's an unfolding of a potential timeline or a potential happening that has been re-explained to me. Of course, if you find yourself in harm or doing something that you feel like, wow, this isn't me, there are protocols that you can do so you can try and wake yourself up. But for the most part, I've now made a conscious effort to just know that my soul is trying to speak to me sometimes through my dream states. So if I do come into a dream, like I said, that I feel like I have less consciousness or less control over what's going on, then that is, I take it more as an opportunity, if you see what I'm saying, John. Like I take it that as an opportunity. But in the day, what I would say for dream consciousness or lucidity, unless I'm not right in assuming that you're saying lucidity, um, I check about my day. How present am I in the day? Because it's usually a reflection of how present I am in my sleep state. Am I just going through my day la di da, or am I taking mindful observation of each moment that I'm going through? Am I experiencing each moment, or am I having a time in my life where I'm just zoning out? See what I'm saying? Am I having a time in my life where I'm just like there but not there?
Yeah.
Because it's usually for me reflected in how I move on the other side as well. See what I'm saying? Another thing that I will usually do is see how, if my sleep patterns have changed. Am I going to bed later? Am I going to bed earlier? Am I feeling more tired? Have I had a detox as of late? Have I gone through some sort of emotional moment of not a full depression, but this transition, when life ain't lifing for a while and it feels like it's whooping your ass and you kind of have to just step back. Because a lot of the time, I then have no business trying to venture and make decisions and do anything much. I usually let things unfold at that point. So it's nuance. Where are you at with that? Because it's going to then determine where you move on to in the next step,
Yeah.
like for your daily practices on course correcting that or having it to a place where you want it to be.
Yeah, I would say something as well. There is something about recall, and I'm not even gonna say recall. When you're in a
He's
dream,
talking about calling in consciousness
yeah,
into
yeah,
his
no, I
dreams.
know, no, I was
Yeah.
going, just going to change what I was going to say. Basically, so when you're in a dream, there's things, instances that take place where it's an opportunity for you to remember who you are and to check yourself. So, for instance, when I start speaking, all of a sudden, um, about loving LA, I said to myself, that is not true. I don't hate it or love it. It's never a place where I thought, oh, I must visit. So I knew that wasn't me talking, and I realized I am talking her thoughts. So it's a time to like realize yourself and become a lot more conscious. So these are the moment you can catch as well. And assuming as well before you go to sleep or you have I mean a meditation that basically you will be in full awareness.
I also I've seen that they've mentioned that the labradite may have helped you when it came to remembering your awareness, which this labradite is literally for awareness, is for
Yeah,
the dream state, it's for the outer body state, it's great for meditation and stuff like that.
yeah,
However, what I would say is when it comes to consciousness, we kind of have to be okay. There seems to be like a confusion of the way we explain something, and I'll tell you how. So you
hmm,
could be having a dream, you're in the dream, and you on a soul level, you're present, you're doing something, you're in line with that something. It's not egregious to you or anyone else. You're just getting on with it.
yeah,
And then there's a point where you start remembering your life here,
yeah,
which is what I think sometimes we confuse with being conscious.
yeah.
I felt like at the point where you started remembering your life here is where you started realizing, okay, so what am I doing here? When you started injecting your identity here into the storyline.
Well, I had instances like that, but now I'm able to. because of the many I had, I'm able to differentiate which one is which.
Yeah.
So even this was more than a dream, anyways. So at that point, I am not Omondi.
Yeah, you're in your
Now, from the start,
you're
I
not
knew.
in
Uh,
you're in your soul self. You're not
yeah,
in your identity self
yeah,
here.
yeah. And anything portraying to what I'm experiencing at that particular moment, I can see during dream time where you are influenced by what you consume during the day, and certain things come and seep in. Here, that was completely different. Like there is no way I even knew the person, the whole situation. I haven't even thought about that particular situation. Didn't even ask for it either.
this
So
this is this is why
yeah,
I'm so happy you went through it, because I was trying to explain that nuance to you where yes, it's you on a soul level,
yeah,
but you're not identifying to everyone and everything in through the identity of Omondi. In
yeah,
this instance, you're just on a soul level doing what you're doing.
yeah.
Then maybe at some point of that storyline,
Mm.
you're reminded or remember your instance here,
Yeah, exactly.
or something that you have to get back to.
Well, when there was something she mentioned, and that's when I was like, oh, I started remembering. But that's when I actually started coming back as well.
There we go.
However, when I had my OBE, and and I'm talking about the one where, I didn't even fall asleep, just start, my legs start lifting up, then all of a sudden I just come out of the body, walk away. Um, at that instance, turn around, I didn't care about who I was. Like there
And
was
that's
no
my thing
attachment,
about the
and that's
soul. That's
yeah,
that nuance I'm talking
yeah.
about.
Felt like even like I was on autopilot, and I
Yeah,
remember,
yeah,
yeah, Corey had also an instance where he was talking about that feeling,
yeah.
like
That feeling of
yeah,
looking back at your body and being like,
be like yeah, it wasn't
because
so
it's a different type of version of identity. Don't forget, we have the identity here to have the experience here, but
yeah,
once we have relinquished ourselves
right,
from the vessel,
yeah.
it's not the same operating
It's not at all. And on top
tools.
of that,
Yeah,
there was different attention, because when I had it at that time,
yeah.
there was a bit of an attention. I wasn't pricey whether I had it or not. I just came to the conclusion. So right, if I have one, okay, and what we're gonna do? Well, I
Mm,
guess we're gonna see soul records or something like that. So the intention was kind of like set and not set,
yeah.
but so I had this instance because when I turned around, I saw myself, but I was dressed a little differently.
Mm,
So that was the opportunity. But then I went through a mirror because I knew, what the mirror was, and knew what all of that was, which I has no recollection of it here on that side. But
I
on the
get
other
it.
side, I knew. But that was intention led. This last experience, though, I didn't set an intention like, well, I set an intention, but not that particular.
Because
So that was
usually
like,
it's mission led, so you're just
yeah.
going.
So it was mission led. Yeah,
And this is sometimes
it's
where
an
I'm talking
assignment.
about your soul's agreement to do something.
Yeah,
Like your soul has agreed to do X, Y, and Z in certain times, and that's what you do for other souls here.
yeah.
And that's why it's just like, okay, I've got this mission to do. Have any of you lot experienced something similar to that? How was it for you guys? Um, Now, Night Library Tarot has also said, I wonder if I use mugwort infused oil before sleep, what will happen? I drink mugwort tea before I go to bed, not because it gives me more lucidity per se, but it hasn't hindered it, and I do enjoy the taste, and my recall hasn't been hindered either. Like I haven't seen a huge elevation, but it's definitely not hindered it. So if you're open to trying mugwort, you can, I guess. Whether it be through infusing it into oil or drinking the tea. And yeah, rose oil as well. I've heard that helps as well. Um, Let me see what else. I'm not very present. I'm not very present during the day, and I think it's because I'm trying to escape this boring reality. Yo, so many people can relate to that.
Yeah.
So many people can relate to that.
Although I would say this, yeah, your presence during the day helps you become more lucid. So
Yeah,
that's the so that
yeah,
it's like yeah, escapism doesn't lead to more lucidity. So that's what I found out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes being present, even for the I'm not going to say shitty parts, but the mundane, finding the magic in the mundane is really that source where you can be like, oh yeah, a cup of tea. And this is why I won't drink cold teas or like ones that I intended to be a certain way. I will have my foods the way I intended to. I will have my little things the way I intend to, so I can get what I need out of the moment. And then once I get what I need out of the moment, I can be present in the moment.
Hmm.
You know, how many times have you like had a cup of tea, put it there, or had a coffee, put it there, and then it's like half cold. You just drink it down anyway, and you're on about your day. You kind of don't stop and smell the flowers, type of thing.
Yeah.
That's then how lucid are you in that space, in this space here?
So I'm saying, John, you're saying I might end up needing a longer break from the socials. I was posting about how I was going to take a week to focus on myself, and it brought a lot of downloads. Maybe I wasn't quite ready to come back.
Maybe,
Maybe, yeah.
maybe,
That's,
John, you're gonna have to kind of, if you feel that way, then yeah. Or maybe you change where you put that time in. Maybe you put that time in like an hour before you go bed or 2 hours before you go bed. That's where you put that inner work time, so that you can drift on into your sleep time with that kind of settled. You know what I mean? That knowing settled, that you put time into yourself settled.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
yeah.
so 31 Bet Perez. Hi.
Hey,
You're saying same with me after activating my pineal gland. And Jay is saying something that's really interesting. He said, well, I control my dream state, but haven't been able to get out of my body yet. Somehow, daydreaming still have me off in and out of realities much easier. I wonder
yeah,
why. You know what the thing is? I would say one thing about this though. You're out of your body. You're dreaming. You're out of your body. Whether you are in your own dimensional space, that's another story that you created. But you are out of your body. However, um, that's why I found out that uh, being able to discern the difference between your own dimensional space, and if you are out of your body somewhere else, which is not your dimensional space, but with low level of awareness. So where your lucidity is not as high as you would be, because there's some situation where you can clearly tell this, and it's influenced by your thought during the day about whatever you're doing, and it's your dimensional space. And then there's some situation that you haven't thought of this. This is not even a thing you ever thought of, but you're clearly somewhere else. You just, your
it's
awareness
not
is
even been in your zeitgeist.
no, yeah, and your awareness is just a bit low, so it feels like a dream. There's too much haze around it. That are all different things, but for the most part, all of them is an out of body experience anyway. And telling yourself this changes everything, because you start bringing validity in experiences that take place out of your personal, like your dimensional space.
Yeah,
That's what I would say. Yeah.
yeah. Um, Night Library Tarot said, does anyone have this sharp pain on the back of their head where it's connected to their spine during meditation? Um, I've had it, I have experienced it, but I don't have it during meditations. Sometimes I've had it during periods of, I don't like to say activations or upgrades. I don't know how to put it per se, but I will say that I've experienced it, and I know that it was definitely like my vagus nerve, like that nerve, if that's what it's called, is the vagus nerve.
Vegas nerve. Yeah.
And yeah, like Bet Perez is saying, that back pain sounds like a kundalini. Yeah, it's that part of the top of your spine where the next thing is, like where the Christos is, where that oil is, where that, I don't need this, where that it all happens, where all the happenings are. So I can understand, especially if you do certain breathings, that's going to be bringing that oil up. That's going to be rising the oils of your body. Are you doing breathing when you meditate? Do you do box breathing or triangle breathing? Stuff that is going to stimulate your DMT, stuff that's going to, you know, take you to that place. Because that would constitute as to why you feel that. And is it pain or is it immense pressure? And if it is pain, is it throbbing or is it sustained or is it an ache? The reason I ask you these questions is because none of those are the same. And it's and homing in on exactly what that feeling is will allow you to figure out how you're going to move through it when it comes again. Okay.
Yeah, you're saying as well, not laboratory. You're saying, I thought it's because I focus too much on seeing something because I love visions during meditation. But when I focus on breathing or something else, the pain stops, but I see nothing anymore. Yeah,
Understood.
it sounds related. Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely sounds
Mm.
related. It sounds related to how you choose to see. Okay, that's very interesting, actually.
So, John, you're saying another thing. Thank you, John, by the way,
Thanks,
for
John.
your gift. You say, could it have something to do with not being present for myself, if that makes any sense? Like I am too busy worrying about other people's business and not my own. LOL. Only you know, John. Only
Only
you
you
know.
know, John. Only you know.
Yeah.
But do you know what? The rapidly we're losing daylight here.
Yeah.
Do you wanna put on the light or do you wanna wait a little bit?
We can wait a little bit. It's
All
not
right,
that bad,
fine.
is it, guys?
Great. Um
Right to say, my aunt is in hospice. My heart is heavy, and so I'm so very happy to be here with the Soul family. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing. Um which leads us back to the whole question at the beginning about what happens to our souls when they leave our body, but for good, and the different things that we can experience. Now, if you have like looked into OBEs no less, then you've probably looked into NDEs as well.
Mm.
Or NDEs is what brought you to OBEs, whichever way. You've heard a lot of people talk about their experiences and what they've experienced on the other side. And then you've heard us speak, and there's many other people in the community who've also shared the fact that when they're out of body or when they're in dream state, they're going on missions and helping people realize that they've crossed over, because it is very physical. A lot of the time, people won't realize that they have passed over. And I think that this is why the OBE movement has kind of resurfaced again, because ultimately there's been a confusion there and there's been a misdirection as to what it is we're experiencing when we experience our dreams, what they are, and how that connects to our experience when we leave our bodies. And we're always made to believe this is why where the ghost element comes in, and all of this stuff, and it's not really physical, and it's very etheric, and it's very wind and air when it's very physical. So a lot of times I have said I've been out of my body, and I've only realized I've been out of my body because something else has happened, and I'm like, oh, I'm out. Because for the most part, it is extremely physical. The touch and the senses and everything is so physical. So if you've never ever been introduced to that concept and then you pass over, you're most likely going to just go on about your day. And then it will dawn on you that you have passed over, if you see what I mean. And for a lot of souls, they've experienced this. And this was first introduced to me when I went to a reader, and I was met with the fact that, because I'd lost somebody, somebody had passed away in my own life. And when I was really, really young, we were both really young. at the time. And she explained to me that he never realized that he had passed over, that it was a big shock to him. And he was as shocked as everybody else. And these are the reasons why. Um, you expect it, you've been told that someone's going to come get you and it's going to be this thing. And for some people, it is. But then for others, it's just like, oh, I just got up and I was walking and I was doing my thing. Like, it's physical. So if you're not prepared for that, this is where the confusion can come in. And a lot of our souls here either want to know from now, or they already know from now and agreeing to help others when they pass over to navigate
Yeah,
that
because
transition, navigate that knowing.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is true because when I had that experience, I had full knowing that I am a guide and I am guiding. I'm supposed to guide this particular person, um, you know, through a passing. So it was clear. There was no confusion about that. So I think the idea that touches on the idea of guides. As we are a multidimensional being, we can experience life here, but also doing other things on the other side at the same time. Everything, remember, happen simultaneously at the same time, right? It's all at the same time.
Mm,
Um, so, so basically, you could live your life now, and you're doing another thing there.
yeah.
Is whether you're tapping into that um, part of yourself and experiencing that of which you are, which means you can be a guide on the other side. I think we have been told as well that there's a team and they're guides, but these same guides they're not here. Sometimes it is true they're not here, but sometimes I think we might have to warm ourselves to the idea warm up ourselves to the idea that basically we could be both.
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
Yeah,
Why wouldn't we be if we're multidimensional beings?
yeah.
And this is where,
So yeah.
like work in hospices come in. And
Mm.
now, right to right's going through this on this side, and people who work in hospices and the whole helping someone transition is a big part of it's part of that work still.
It is. It
It is
really is.
part of that work.
It's
It's
part of
part
the
of
work. Hmm.
how to pour love onto the situation, how to pour love onto people's transitioning moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that.
Sending you love in this moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
Um okay. So Seeker of Source.
yeah, you're
Would you like to
saying,
read this one?
yeah, I have been realizing how real manifestation is. Our imagination becomes real as our memories, whether imaginary or real, transfer to this life anyway, whether anyone admits it or not. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely like it's definitely sipping, you know,
Yeah.
over to this life, and yeah,
Yeah, there's definitely some like, two filters that meet in the middle.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Um,
Um
so that
right.
laboratory always say it's
An
immense
immense
pressure,
pressure.
and it's when I try to have visions and I do see colors, images, and I go into scenes like movie scenes, not sure if these are memories or not. Yeah, this is what this is the point I was trying to make when Jay mentioned his own experience. It is a part of our ability to decipher if it's ours or not, you know, where this information belongs to or whatnot. That is going to make the difference, because that's how you're going to start. It's actually even probably, I wouldn't say more important than having no B, but what I'm saying is it is as important, because if you have this information but you don't know if it's you, or it is very helpful to start knowing like, okay, this is my memories, this is a past life, this is a mission I have, I've been assigned to do, this is, and you, yeah,
But this is this piece about allowing, but this immense pressure that she's feeling, and that's the thing. We When we feel pressure, sometimes we panic, and then some panic makes us seize up, and we then read the pressure as pain. So no matter what happens in those moments of immense pressure, because I'm used to what you're talking about here, we're to breathe into that, to release the pressure. Use your breath, and don't focus on what it is you're seeing or what it is you're doing. Just use your breath and allow your breath to guide you out of the pressure, and then allow for another thing to appear, whether that's going to be in vision or whether that's going to be in the feeling that you feel, or however it's going to come, allow it to come. Because a lot of this time, once that pressure subsides, that's when you can allow yourself the next level of whatever it is that's coming, you know, that release. And the release usually unleashes something else. So I'd say in those moments of immense pressure, veer away from trying to do anything but breathe into it a little bit, a little bit like a contraction when you're giving birth. It's like it's immense pressure, and if the more you tell yourself it's more pressure than pain,
Mm.
the more you can use your breath to move it to where you have to, or to move through it with ease.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, Jay
Jay.
say, yeah, I know. Yeah, you're saying, yeah, I know I am out of my body in every dream state. To clarify, I mean that I haven't achieved 100% out of my dimensional space, and to be completely out of this construct via the dream. But thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah, now I get you. I get you.
I get you, Jay.
But what I'm saying as well is like I realized two things. There is part of it might feel like a dream, but you're not in your dimensional space. That's what I'm trying to say is like it's not everything. There's an assumption just because your dream is fully in your dimensional space. It depends. Sometimes it's not. It's just your awareness is you don't have enough awareness to realize that it's not a dream. There's
I
all these instances that has
that
taken
is
place.
where I think the whole idea around dreams and how they've been posed to us really got us, because from very young I've been told, if you die in a dream, you die. So don't die in your dreams.
Yeah, I've been told that as well.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
found that to be very not true very quickly.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Very not true very quickly.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, so that's not true. But then how much things aren't true? How much things do we have to relearn about ourselves, which is why the whole OBE movement is coming back in, so we can relearn all of this stuff as is.
Well, I think the issue at the moment is this because you got to be so this clear cut. When you come out of your body, you see yourself coming out of your body. You know that you're coming out of your body,
Mm.
and then you are doing what you're gonna do, whatever experience you choose to have, whether you go through a portal is that, and that is okay. That's clear. And then there's the dream state. Then there's the lucid dreaming, and then there's the in betweens. People never really talk about, which is certain things you can, and that's how you start being able to decipher these things depending on what you're doing throughout the day, because you know for facts this shit has nothing to see with what you've experienced during the day or in the past years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Yes, some people will say yeah, but it could be blocked off in your subconscious, and then your subconscious. Yes and no, it's not that straightforward. So I think that is where there's a lot of gray areas, if I can say
I
that.
feel you.
Yeah.
And when
So
you say you haven't achieved 100% out of your dimensional space, is that because you're seeing into people that you know or places that you know only, and not outside of those? Or is it because you haven't been outside of the construct via a dream yet? Like, how do you determine that for yourself, Jay?
yeah, it'd be
Um,
interesting to
yeah,
know.
interesting to know.
Yeah, I'd like to know actually. It's
So
actually, but I thought you were talking. I know you clarified, but I thought you were talking about that because I know you were aware that you're out of body. But sometimes when I say it is not to patronize you or anything like this, is because many people may listen what we're saying and not understand that. So sometimes it just specifies for the one that may not know.
or are new to the
Yeah,
concept.
or new to that.
Um,
Yeah.
So John said, I feel like this place makes it so easy to forget how much control we truly and have and how much we guide our own experience.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's part of it. I think that's like baked into the experience to have this new realization of an old concept so we can kind of like surprise ourselves.
yeah.
Oh, I never knew, but you're all knowing that game.
Yeah. Hey
So
MJ,
MJ, hey
uh,
MJ.
you say, and the all physicality things, even though I haven't had an OB yet, I know that is what it is. Has me thinking that I don't even want to call them spirit guides because it's not just spirit. Yeah, you can say that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and this is the thing, we make it feel so airy fairy, and then when we have a dream, or yeah, even a dream, like if you've dreamt that you're fighting, and you actually land a punch, if you dreamt that you were in water and you actually felt the water and it felt so real. If you ever had a dream and you come out of the dream, you're like, wow, that felt so real. What what thought process or belief made you unpick that and say no, it wasn't? Because a lot of the time the opposite is true, and that was more than a dream.
But then, but
And just because you didn't identify as yourself in the dream, it doesn't mean that it wasn't an OBE or your lucidity wasn't there. It's just your identity on a whole higher soul level is not attached to your avatar's identity per se. So if you are experiencing it in a dream, and in that dream you feel like, yeah, but I didn't know what my name was, I didn't know who I wasn't me, but yet you saw things from a bird eye view, or you saw things from one person's view and the other person's view, and you like felt like you could know what they were knowing and know what was going on. You are out body, you're in your soul state.
it's
And we think that that means that
well,
you see what,
yeah,
that's
and
where a lot of the confusion and gray area I feel, where people can say, yeah, well, that wasn't because I wasn't me.
well, that another thing. When it comes down to dreams, the way dreams being interpreted, and I mean no interpretation of your dream if you have one, it's just the way we interpret the idea of dreaming.
Dreaming, yeah.
I have noticed that often it's like depicted as oh, this is your imagination, this is the shit you make up, and this all mash of whatever you gone through you this month or during the day, yeah. And we say, okay, that's it, this is what that is. um Even the thing, so basically because of the assumption that is that you always operate from that perspective when you have a dream, so you don't even give yourself the chance to get more lucidity, become more aware, um, asking yourself while you're dreaming if that is related to you, because you can do that while you're having the dream. Hang on a minute, this is has nothing to do with me. What's going on? What is this? What is that?
And
But if you
that's,
assume
yeah,
that it's part of you already and it's all this and that, you kind of bypass all the idea of dimensional space and how it works, because you can be in someone else's dimensional space as well. You can walk in someone's dream, or we creators, so we can create a dimensional space in a dimensional space, and so on. And all of this stuff is you. That's why you need to be able to decipher, are you in your dimensional space? Have you created another dimensional space in your dimensional space, or are you out of your dimensional space? Although it still feels like a dream, do you need to get more awareness and question that, and being able to ask yourself question as this take place?
yeah.
So, and the best time where you can begin to do that, what I've noticed at the beginning, you might not being able to do that while you're in um, um, fully immersed in the dream. But as you begin the dream, or you come to the end of the dreams, and it feels like you're coming back to the reality, I found that that's a good time just before you wake up to ask questions, because there's where you can have a like an increase of
it's
awareness.
it's your hypnagogic state,
Yeah,
but
and that's
on the
the
reverse, on
part
the
where you
way
can,
back.
yeah, you can start catching quite a lot of information. because I can understand why you're immersing it. It's sometimes a bit difficult to just because you're fully into the storyline. So but you can start doing that.
Yeah,
But
on
I
the
found
way
out,
out.
yeah. So you definition of what dreaming is very important
Yeah,
because it will determine how you can become more aware.
yeah.
Yeah,
I've now got to the point where it's just accept whatever one that comes to me, because I'm in full knowing that
yeah,
whatever it is trying to communicate something with me. It's me communicating with me, rather than the idea that someone's blocking me and I'm blocked and I've agreed to a block and another thing and I can't get this and no.
yeah.
Because that's been my biggest discernment now. And if there's something I don't like, then I can cut it out immediately, because that's not in line with the knowing that this is meant for me. Anything of harm to myself or someone else is not meant for me.
Absolutely.
So I just don't get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm talking about this. There's different scenarios of experience, different scenarios. This a scenario where you are having an out of body experience, you're not fully aware, and usually, if it's a mission, it's very clear. The message is clear and concise, and what the assignment is and what you're doing, or if there's an information you're meant to receive. However, you realize that sometimes you can come in and out of that state and plunge back into a dream,
Yeah.
personal dimensional space out
Right
of that
after.
state, yeah,
Yeah.
and come back in. You can feel the difference, and one makes no sense. Most of the time it's just like weird stuff happening when you're in your own dimensional space, and it's not much sense into it. You can start like the narrations, the narrative that's running there, it's so distorted and you can see the difference. So when you start gain all these different experiences and being able to really pay attention, I have noticed a clear difference between the two.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some things is like,
Yeah.
oh, that don't
But a
really
way
make no
that you
sense.
did that was like, let it be, though.
Yeah, I had to first not trying to recreate the my first aware conscious will be just that happens. Don't try to recreate it. That's another thing because I was really
Yeah.
trying to recreate
I
that.
know you were. And sometimes over trying is the block. And
Yeah,
then when you let it go and you relinquish,
yeah,
comes,
because exactly, and because you see fancy things,
yeah.
so you're like,
So,
oh, floating islands. Oh, this is fantastic. Like, I'm going through a mirror. You say, oh, I'm going through a portal. All of these, you know, these are fancy things you may experience, but then that may lead you to trying to recreate them when you may not need to.
yeah. So that's John talking to MJ. Yeah. We're always having OBEs, whether conscious or not. Yeah. And that's the thing about consciousness. I think it's conscious of our own identity at the time, or our earthly identity here.
Yeah,
Because I've been aware that I am in an OBE state, but in experiencing it from somebody who is another iteration of me at the time. So now it seems very layered, but it's like, oh, I'm Shem, but I'm not this version of her. I'm the version of her somewhere else, different name or whatever it is, and yada, yada, yada. And then I'm having OBE through her state. Like there's different iterations of it, but I only got that by literally just relinquishing the need to have to control every single dream, and trusting that every single dream slash OBE would be just teaching me what I needed to know in that moment. And if I didn't like it, I could always go and wake up. Period. Because my soul's not going to do anything that I don't want it to do. I am in control. I'm my soul's highest authority. So if I want to press the exit button, I can. So once I knew that that was there for me, the rest I can let unfold, and I can let my consciousness teach me as to how it travels around. If
yeah.
that makes any sense right now to anybody. Like if I'm wording it right, I'm trying to get the right words.
It's actually really like relevant what you're saying to allow your consciousness to do what it has to do, because another thing as well, an assumption like yeah, you're gonna be, yeah, as much as it can be very physical, there's also states where that surpasses the idea of physical reality. And I remember having that experience where it was, it's like a plane of consciousness. Nobody, you have nobody, you have no, there's no physicality. And that's what that place where I was channeling, within that place I was doing meditation and channeling like language,
That's what I'm saying. Like you pop out
but it
and you
wasn't
can do
physical
things
at
at
all.
all. This is the
And I
thing,
had full on awareness. I was really aware. And then I was trying to wake up from that state. I realized, oh no, I'm in another dimension.
which was more physical than the one
Yeah,
that
and I
you've
was
been
really,
through
it was more
before.
physical than the one I was,
And then you got back
but it
into
was
then
a
this
little
got
hazy, but I was fully conscious. It was a bit, it was very weird. And I was like,
yeah.
I wanted to wake up and come back to here. And then I woke up and come back to here.
That's why
But
some
all of
you've got to do
this,
the double wake up.
yeah, I
I
was
know.
fully
Hey,
conscious. And I was like, oh, okay. And then what it was, that plane was just not physical at all.
this is how you map out how your consciousness moves.
Yeah. But I
But allow it. But
allowed it. Yeah.
don't try to decide what the edges of the map look like before you've gone there.
Yeah.
Just go.
Exactly. And then it was very well because I had no body. I wasn't in the body or anything like this. And I felt myself like just hitting at this world. It was just channeling. I couldn't stop it. I couldn't just do nothing. It was like, to stop it. Not that I wanted to, but it felt like, okay,
It's coming through you, channeling it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's my point. If you say channeling now, you're thinking physical body, I'm channeling and I'm physically speaking. None of that stuff. That's a
Hey.
very weird concept, right?
Yeah, but like
Yeah. But you have to,
these are the things we are willing to open ourselves up to
yeah.
knowing.
And it's funny because had I tried to control it and put the limitation we have here, I
Mm.
wouldn't have experienced that simply because I was trying to define what it's supposed to look like.
Or front run anything. Yeah,
Because I
completely.
wouldn't have been able to think about it.
No.
Yeah.
So Night Library Tarot was saying, wait, one time during meditation, on my forehead, a vision opened and it was like a camera just flying around roads. It was red and black, no color. Hope it makes any sense. Yeah, it's like it makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
these are all the different ways that you're allowing yourself to experience your consciousness and the different ways they'll show up. And depending on who you are and how you understand things or how you interpret things, is going to speak back to you a message that only you will understand. This is why for dream interpretations, it's going to involve you being honest about how you understand the world around you and how you best like communicating with yourself.
Yeah.
Because I can sit here and say, oh, you dreamt of fish, it means pregnancy. Oh, you dreamt of clouds, that means hopes. But it's not, it's way more nuanced than that. And it's still a very individual experience. And this is how we can lean into learning more about ourselves and our consciousness.
Yeah.
So Jay said,
Yeah, I will say that each 100% OBE that I've experienced, I have never looked back,
you never
always
look
looking
back.
forward while in the full OBE. For me, I'm just not that into this reality once I'm gone. Yo,
Jay, I feel
Jay,
you.
it is 100%. It's exactly
Yeah,
what the point I was trying to make as
yeah.
well. The fact that um one thing is that the detachment you have with your physical body, uh some, I guess some people, they need to feel that they all feel physical, and that, and for a lot of experience that I had, I realized one thing is I don't try to appear as me physically.
Yeah.
It's like the last things I even think of.
I don't care.
Not even
I I
ask myself
I
how I
don't
look, or
care.
yeah, so I understand what you're saying, and that's the thing. Because sometimes if you're too attached to the body, you may front run the experience because you're trying to limit it by the concept you have here or what it is to be
I
physical.
simply don't. It's like I get out and I simply don't care.
Yeah,
like I've relinquished any care or attachment to the
Yeah.
vessel
I think it's the
altogether.
attachment to relinquish the attachment to the idea of a physical body in the first place.
I would also say that's probably why I've been like just popping out, and as long as I'm out, I know I'm out, and I just go on about my business. Like I'm too busy to even care and look back.
Yeah.
And the times where I have, it's taken me a bit to realize what I'm looking at, and it's not who, it's what.
Yeah.
I remember once I looked and I was in the middle of breastfeeding, and I was like, oh, a woman breastfeeding her child. Okay. And I was like, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. It was that. It was
Yeah.
that. It was that realization. And I was like, okay, well, and I just left.
You just left. Yeah. Yeah. Because I noticed that. I was like, that's because the only reason why it's mentioned that things feel very physical on the other side is simply because many people don't realize when they crossover that not only they continue, but also that it might feel it's just as the same if you so wish to,
If not more,
if not
which is
more.
where they get
Yeah.
thrown off.
Yeah. So that's the
Which is
thing.
why this whole OBE movement
When
I
you're
feel
like,
is
I'm gonna,
beneficial.
yeah.
Do you want to just turn on the main one and see?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
All right.
Yeah, you can keep chatting.
I'm gonna keep chatting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Um Interesting. All right. Okay. I'm trying to get through some questions as well. Not that I don't like you lot chatting to one another. That's actually the bit I love. But if anyone does have a question or something to say, I do like to answer. All right. Can you get an OBE during the day? I mean, is it possible? This is not tarot. Can you get an OBE during the day? I mean, is it possible to have one in a few hours of meditation? I feel like it's harder for me. That's why I'm asking. Yeah, some people get it through meditation only, and others will get it through dream state, and others will get it through just napping, and others will get it through sitting there in moments. Like it's going to be different for everybody, and there are ways and means of you doing it. So this is the thing, you learn different methodologies and you lean into the one that works for you the best, and be willing to explore and stay open to each methodology, because no two people will operate exactly the same or master something at the same rate. So it's more remaining open to the many possibilities and leaning into the different methodologies, but really committing yourself to each one so that you can find out which one works for you best. But it is very possible to do it after or during meditation. I actually enjoy the one during meditation because I don't put as much pressure on myself to have something happen. You know, I'm more like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But then it
Yeah.
happens.
I think there's different ways, but I think also it's reaching the hypnagogic state mainly. So it depends of your sleep pattern as well.
Yeah. Um, so Jay is saying, because I'm just, is your
If,
knee all right?
yeah, I'm good.
Because I'm just experimenting with different ways to exit my body and construct fully with all physicality. It's just that simple. Yeah, me too, Jay. That's been my thing as well. Exiting the construct with full physicality. The thing is, I've done it a few times with full physicality, but my thing now is wanting with full physicality the re-entry, because there was a time I did a re-entry and I noticed like the moment where the confusions and duality start setting in, and I wanted to explore that area more. So that's interesting. You're doing the same thing, Jay. Yeah, cool. That's cool.
So blessed you saying we are also in several places at the same time. So perhaps keeping that in mind may help. I have had a brief out of body moment where I witnessed things from my soul body and from a third person view. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And these are all different possibilities, but um had blessed said, okay, this is the only way it can be done and I can't do it any other way, he may have he may have like overlooked his actual experience that was real and that he had by trying to label it something that he had believed to be true rather than being open to the possibilities and then allowing the experiences to come in, because you that's that inner work, that's how you learn about yourself.
Yeah,
um
absolutely.
so Creo said, my dreams had been super real the last few nights. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those times. That is what people are experiencing as well, and this is why the community is growing, because people are wanting answers to why does it feel like these dreams are dreaming right now? Why did I get slapped in my face last night and I really felt the slap? Why was I running up the stairs in my dream and I felt the whole banister? All of these things. All of these things. And Bless said, I was being helped out of my body and getting dragged through the blankets, and suddenly realized that I had two um, cameras for the scene, if that makes any sense. Yeah, you saw it from two viewpoints. Like, I get you. Like, maybe you saw it
It's
from
like,
like in your body state, and then you also saw it from like above as well. These are the things that dream recall or experience recall can bring us. And maybe you don't remember the storyline, okay? But maybe you can remember the placement of the cameras, i.e., the views. So you're like, you know what? Remembering, I kind of did see everything from up above at some point. And then there was a time where I was like the third person, and there was a time where I was like in a body. These are where your dream recalls, that's how deep your dream recalls can start being as you explore your consciousness, because it can start to tell you about what the enormity of your experience was. If you just said I did this and I did this, and everything has to be in the eye for you to validate it, everything has to be in body, I saw through some eyes to validate it, and it couldn't be I was in a scene and I saw everything from above, but I also saw everything from around, then you limit yourself from that experience as well. All right.
um,
Seeker of source.
I had a dream last night. I was playing a video game, but the light source in the game was so bright I never experienced a light that bright in a dream state, like eye blinding. Yeah, so same here. You answering cry after that. I've been talking zeolite, uh,
Taking.
taking.
Yeah. I've
Oh,
been
I've been
taking
taking. So,
zeolite.
so yeah, I've been taking zeolite. I don't know if that helps with that. And I remember them like it was yesterday.
Okay, so that seems to be helping with you
mm,
getting clear on your recall and your awareness. And like I said, it's different for some. It's you have to be open to exploring that. And this is all part of your self knowing and knowing thyself. Are you are you willing to explore this? Are you willing to take the discipline to look at your sleep patterns? Are you willing to try different times of the day to meditate or to have a nap or to sleep? Or are you willing to do all these different things? And
mm,
that's not that these things have to be achieved through substance, and it's not that you are not allowed to use substance. It's what do you want to do and where are you willing to explore to get those answers for yourself.
yeah, true.
Um, Here we go.
Hi, Tone. Tone, I guess that's your name.
I'm gonna
My
call it Tawny. That's what we're
Tony.
gonna
Hi,
go for up to
hi,
now.
Tony. Some radical non-duality speakers say that there is no such thing as consciousness, meaning there is no me because me is just another
Thought
thought construct.
construct.
What do you think about that? Um, think consciousness is consciousness, and the me, it's referring. It depends if you refer to me as the I am or the me as me, the avatar here. It's very nuanced. So you would have to precise, because if you say what that person says, is there's a lack of precision in how we interpret all of these words. Because someone that understand the I am what I am that I am. I mean, they no longer see themselves as the avatar, the me here. You know, for me, for instance, it would be Omundi. Is they would not see themselves as Omundi. Um, but consciousness is consciousness, regardless of this construct. You know, it's choose an expression. That's what it is. So
I would say me is one of those iterations of those expressions.
yeah, I would say that as well. Yeah.
So it's
Well,
just
it
another way for
depends.
you to experience.
Yeah, but it depends how you interpret it. Like you would have to, before you even open the subject and the dialogue around these words, you would have to ask yourself what me means to you, and then you can start talking about these things. Other than that, you're not talking about the same thing.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
depends who's talking about it and what context they put on it,
Yes.
what meaning their consciousness has put on that.
Yeah.
It is an endless subject, by the
Very
way.
interesting though. So
It's
yeah,
very interesting. I like the idea of it.
yeah.
I really do. It's an amusing conversation to have.
What's zeolite? You say zeolite or zeolite?
Zeolite or zeolite, but
You know.
it depends on how you pronounce it. And does that help with dreams? I suppose
Yeah,
zeolite is in.
I was actually
I'm not
thinking
even
about a French person trying to actually z-
pronounce it.
yeah, the elite. What do you mean? No, not the elite. The elite.
Oh,
Like,
zeolite.
yeah, yeah,
The
love that.
peasants and zeolites.
Yeah.
That's where
I
your
was,
mind went.
yeah, listen, you see, doesn't make any sense. That's when you know dream state is just driven by that type of
That's where your consciousness went to right now.
right.
All right, fine.
I'm talking about me, Omundi.
It's
The
funny they said
French,
that though,
yeah,
because sometimes I'll be like, what do you want to do? And you'd be like, who, me? And I'd be like, what you do you think I'm talking to?
I always do that.
You always do that. So I'm not surprised about the question.
Yeah, because it's this
Because
difference between me
it's,
and who you talking about the soul me or the
and I was like, I'm talking about a cup of tea. Anyhow, so
um
so Secret of Source is saying to Creo that last week I had one where I was in my bedroom and I was holding an orange and thinking about it. Um IRL. I I
I see Ireland when you say IRL.
every
I'm just
time
trying to
listen. It just won't allow me to see anything but Ireland. Okay. So I'm gonna say, for the sake of throwing everyone off, thinking about
Ireland.
Ireland.
Holding it
I know that's not what you're saying, but
in
it's
my
jokes
hand,
ahead.
I felt the coldness and smelled the citrus
Yeah,
on it.
I know it must have felt like you're really,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what? It's really interesting you mentioning this seeker of source. I remember that person talking. I can't tell you who it is, but I remember listening a video about someone saying that basically they were eating the food, but the food they'll test everything, but the food wouldn't go past their throats. So it's like you get the feeling, the I mean, of the tasting the food, the texture, but you don't get the what do you call it when you
The digestion,
no, yeah, but the feeling of being full. There's a name for it. I'm trying to remember.
the satiation
It's
of
the
it.
satiation of it. Yeah. So, but testing food, yeah, it is a real thing.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people go to the Astral
Smell. Yeah.
to eat ice cream.
Mm.
So Seeker of Source is saying, yeah, it's the seawater substance. When volcanoes erupt, I believe. It's a detoxifier. Um, think like
Charcoal.
charcoal.
Yeah,
It
charcoal.
removes heavy metals.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's where I know it from. And
Oh
so I was
yeah.
going to say
No, no, yeah.
bentonite clay
Yeah.
holds that as well.
Mm.
There's many things that hold that. Even um, in the blood brain. Okay, in the blood and in the brain, it removes heavy metals
Okay.
better, which can induce better lucidity. Yeah, removing heavy metals.
I
There's
can see
different
why, yeah.
detoxifiers. Yeah, I see why that. I see where that can help.
Um
But then lemon water can also do the same thing,
so
depending on how committed you are to that.
so Night Library Tarot, you're saying I hope after we die, even if all of us are one or we are part of one consciousness, I still hope I remain myself and able to express myself without disappearing into everything.
I think that's the nuance as well, that
Okay.
we all disappear into everything. And I think that's another thing why everyone wants to know now. There's a new surge of knowing, because no one likes, a lot of people, the idea of disappearing into just one thing doesn't sit with them. They still want to keep part of all of their soul's experience. And I would say, in my knowing, that is still, that part of you still remains.
It's actually one of the fundamental questions of existential questions, where you bringing up the idea of what we are really.
Or one,
um
or the
uh,
idea of oneness, or how it's been
yeah,
perceived.
and the thing is about that is the fact that you then can push further by asking yourself, why do you want to remember that experience? Why do you want to, why are you attached to the idea that you will, this could potentially all disappear, whether it's true or not. There's an attachment there, and the same attachment, once you start observing it and see where it's coming from, it's simply the lack of understanding often that we can be everything. So you could be the person that, not the person, but the you could be the disappearance. You could disappear, but at the same time still remember. You could be everything. So you never really lose anything, because duality has made us believe that there's a gaining and not gaining, and there's losing and not losing, and there's always that sort of
Duality.
idea of duality, where you worse off or better off. But what if you could embody everything, that
And then
and
you
the
don't
rest?
lose anything,
So yeah.
though you don't have anything, but you have everything. It's that. And I think that that's what this experience has made it a little bit more of a challenge for us to wrap our heads around, and the things that are baked into this part of the game.
Yeah.
But we're trying to disassociate ourselves with right now through conversations like this and many other things.
Yeah.
Um,
Say what, look back. That sounds like something you would do. That's just saying, no looking back will normally
Slam
slam
me
me
back.
back into my body. I mean, this reality fades quick when I'm out and elsewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Diana, I say, wow, that is very interesting. Completely get that, get what you're talking about. I am going to check that out. I have been looking for a good detoxifications where much needed for
Yeah.
myself.
There are many
Very much needed for myself.
detoxifications for heavy metals, and I know that the zeolite is one of them. Um, and there are some natural ones as well. Not that that's not a natural occurring substance. So look into it if you're interested. Thanks for the share.
Hmm.
So Creo was saying that I have a dream that I was in a classroom again. Yeah, more learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes up often. And a lot of the times I've realized as well with that, it's sometimes a memory. it's sometimes a memory of something, or you were learning, but you were relearning it for something that you're supposed to bring here, which I've experienced lately. But it had to do with biosphere matching, and for the life of me, come on, biosphere matching. I hadn't even known that those words go together ever, but apparently they do, and they actually are a thing. So these are the things we learn on the other side and bring back,
Yeah.
and it's wonderful. All
Uh,
right, so Tawny said non duality speakers say that it's impossible to keep on existing after death because there is actually no one alive right now who would go on existing. Um, that there is no life and death. I get it. As we understand it, I would add. Um,
no, now
no
or
now
after.
or after, but
As long as,
as long as
yeah.
it's possible to have OBEs, I think that they're saying it's I think what they're saying is not true. Well, I think that it's an opinion from an understanding that they have of other realms that aren't supposed to be experiencing life or consciousness as we're experiencing it here or as we choose to here. And that's why a lot of things cannot be extrapolated when you come back here, because they're meant for the realm that we experience them in.
Yeah.
So it's like trying to make non duality stick in a realm of duality may cause issues for some, considering we all came here to experience duality and we're in the realm of duality. But I do understand the concept of non duality. But it's back to this everything and nothing thing. It's a back to this, yeah,
but
I
yeah,
get it. But this is what I was talking about today with the whole dreaming thing.
yeah,
If this is a dream
yeah,
and we're all dreaming,
yeah.
and when we're in dreams, we can let everybody, and time is not linear. So that means all your lifetimes have already happened.
Mm-hmm.
That means all your deaths have already happened, all your births have already happened. That means all you're doing is remembering all of your instances and navigating through each of those experiences through consciousness, right?
Yeah,
Ish,
yeah,
maybe. Okay, I'm always open.
yeah.
Which means then, yeah, you already are gone.
Well,
But then it
to,
means you're just arriving.
yeah, but to your point, is it has happened. That's the thing. It we always because of our limitation, we're always trying to define everything. It has happened, but it hasn't. It has and it hasn't,
Yeah.
and it's happening. It's all of it. And about duality, um, we only experiencing duality. Essentially, these non-duality people, what they're referring to is the limitless you, limitless.
The thing is, if you,
It's the infinite. I would say
the
limitless. The
infinite,
infinite.
yeah,
The infinite. Is trying to find the right word.
yeah.
The infinite. That's what they're referring to. But if you are infinite, the only way to experience the opposite, which is part of what that experience is, it's to include duality, which now you gain into this concept of time linear, traveling to places and etc. So we have deliberately, clearly, it's a construct that's been deliberately created in order to experience, which we know, the opposite of um, the infinite. That's all it is. So is there's death? Yes and no. Is this it's a yes and no for everything. It's just hard for us to wrap our head around,
Conceptualize it.
conceptualize it here when everything has to be defined with limitations, and if this is this, then there must be an opposite for the
But
sake of balance.
hear the jokes though.
So yeah.
What is the opposite of duality?
What
Non-duality, right?
it's
But
infinite.
no, but think about it. They've called themselves non-duality
Yeah.
to explain
So they're trying
But they've
to,
used duality to explain who they
yeah,
are.
because this is the attempt to define a
Conceptualize.
perimeter
Yeah.
around the concept in itself, not
It's
understanding that the
oh,
duality
they do
only exists.
understand it, but it's
No, they
just
lack that part, which is duality only exists because of the infinite.
yeah.
They would never like the fact that, even the fact that you're trying to even determine the infinite, it is from a place of duality, because you're only busy doing this here because you're in that construct. You don't even think of, there's no need to think of that once you're
Yeah.
infinite.
You don't even think about it.
So
You don't even consider it. But it's
yeah,
a nice game to play while we're here.
yeah, it's awesome.
It's a nice way to expand
Yeah,
your possibilities.
thank you, MJ. You're saying this Q&A is also helpful.
Thank you, MJ. And I
Thank you.
love the fact that you lot share it openly and are able
Yeah.
to ask these questions, because 9 times out of 10, someone else in the chat has gone through it as well.
So, seeker of souls, you're talking about the what you've been actually taking. It's interesting because you say you've been taking it for 2 weeks, and I'm guessing the zero light.
Yeah.
And then okay, hold on. Seeing other things, you've been taking it for 2 weeks now. Get specifically
Okay. I can't even begin. Let's don't even.
clinoptilolite or lit. I don't know if I'm saying it that correctly. Kinds. Well, that's interesting to you. Let's copy this one. Okay, look it up. Not any other ones. Okay, so there's many ones, I'm guessing, and you gotta
All
pick the right
right.
ones. Okay, that's very interesting.
I'm going to write it down. I'm going to put it in the timestamps. Don't
Yeah, put
worry.
it in times.
When you come back to
Yeah, but you might
this,
wanna
I'll put it
copy
in the
this because this don't
timestamps.
stays this chat. The chat just disappear once you
All
have
right.
the
I'll
replay.
copy that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, thank you, Seeker of Souls.
So Lilo is saying non-duality in of itself is like an oxymoron. Non-duality implies that there is duality. That's what I was
Yeah,
laughing at.
exactly. That is true.
Source is all
Yeah.
things. One of many, dual and non-dual. Yeah, yeah.
What you realize very quickly, it's all a game that we're playing.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh my. Okay, so Seeker of Souls is saying that I have multiple dreams where it's set locations, not every night, but I go once or twice a month, and I just find myself in the same cities or location. Samesies. A lot of people have experienced that as well.
By the way, I'm going to remind you guys, if you can press like to help the content,
Yeah.
to reach out to new people.
All right. Also, guys, if you can drop in the comment section below, or if you can drop in the chat right now, because on the 19th of March, we are going to be having a conversation with Sasha Soul Wanderer. And what questions do you have for him? What would you love us to talk about? What topics would you like us to touch on, if any at all? Or would you like us to go into flow state? Let's see where we can take the conversation, or anything that will be helpful for us to bring up, so we can make this like a community-led conversation. All right, so just feel free to drop them in, and we'll just see what we get. Okay, so beetroot juice, does that help? Yeah, I
Okay, nice.
guess. Isn't beetroot juice like an alkaline? Like, it's good for alkaline in your blood. All right. So Jay is saying, Shem is speaking my language. I just don't care about any of this when I'm gone. It's fascinating shit. Yeah. Listen, we out here. Yeah. Consciousness is fundamental, period. Mic drop. This is Jay. Bars out here. But seriously, it is. No beginning, no end. It just is. Exactly. It's not trying to even define itself or look back at its body, but then sometimes it does. It tries to look in the mirror, and sometimes it don't care. Sometimes there is no mirror. Sometimes they say, what is a mirror? It's everything.
Yeah, it's true.
You are everything and everything is you. Um, we can try and put it in a box and define it, which is funny now because architecture has tried to really kind of do that this time, hasn't it? Where you've got the cubism coming in and everyone's house looks like different shaped boxes and rectangles. But then before it used to be more domes and archways and this cathedrals and all of this type of spirals, and it's really just a mirroring. And this is what we were talking about, the color gray, everyone leaning into the color gray and all of these
Yeah.
things. And then that's such a far cry from the older times where we would have, you know, the windows with all the colors and the glass with all the colors and the prism of color coming in through the sunlight, and it's just a different experience.
Yeah, it is.
Hence
Definitely.
why now we're asking different questions, but then it
Yeah.
allows consciousness to experience different things and asks itself different questions because it's been put in different situations.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm talking about in your dream state, allowing different situations to unfold so you can ask yourself different questions in your waking life, discover more about yourself. Okay, so Loretta. Hey, Loretta.
Hi, Loretta.
In dreams, I saw 4 or 5 people in a closet holding a flashlight to their face, and my thought was, WCF? What the fuck are you people doing? A lady tried to talk but didn't understand her. Me being in judgment, is that why? Is that why I couldn't understand her? Um, Maybe. You see what I'm saying? Do you remember if it was a language that you've heard before or recognized in your waking life? Or you could have been looking at her through the eyes of yourself here and identifying through who you are here, and maybe not leaving space for you to identify as you are when you are not attached to who you are here. And that's where the help of disassociating yourself from your identity here can really expand the understanding you can bring back in these different realms that you go to. Because your first initial reaction is, who are you? Or like what you were saying when you got out of body and you were like, are you black?
Yeah, that was
Basic ass questions.
I
And
was
you were
like,
like,
why am I
don't.
asking this question? I was like,
And that's the funny thing
well, he
about,
answered me though.
oh, lovingly, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. All of these questions we ask are from our understanding here, but if we allow ourselves to just be like, I don't care really,
Right.
more reveals itself. Like, yeah, how are you chatting? I understand. Just like how you can go to a shop and it's ran by people who speak another language to you, and you know whether they're chatting about you or not.
Yeah, it's true. I mean,
Yeah. If you're in your own head, you could be like, I don't understand what they're saying. But if you just allow yourself to immerse yourself in the shop and what it is they're offering, you can quickly realize, oh, they're talking about somebody, or they're talking about me, or they're talking about the news or the day. You can feel into it. And it's that is what I was talking about, expanding what our idea of lucidity or consciousness in a dream state or OBE state is, allowing yourself to immerse yourself in it just for the sake of not blocking the allowance of understanding the experience.
yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. And you can practice in daily life. Walk into your local shop that's run by people who do not speak your language and
Yeah.
just be there. Just be a shopper and immerse yourself into the experience that they meant you to have. Don't go and ask for shit that you know they don't have. Okay?
So,
Go there and get in there. You know what I mean?
Lena, hi.
Hey, Lena. Hey.
Sika was also saying also loss is the greatest deceiver. So the disappearance theory doesn't mean we lose any of our consciousness, memories, or embodiment. If that is the case, we return to the all. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
And
You,
that's part of the work that you were doing as well.
yeah,
Allowing people to realize, okay, all right, this crossover is not going to go back over again. and
No.
just slowly and gently allowing them to realize you are going to go on.
Yeah.
You might not go home the one you're thinking of, but let's see how we can rework this experience for you,
Yeah.
you know, but gently enough so that they don't go into mourning themselves and
Yeah.
because
She
that's a real thing.
basically what I was experiencing, realized I was experiencing what she was experiencing, which is longing. Like how she was like, oh, I love LA. Oh, I used to do that. And I was like,
And
okay.
realizing slowly
Yeah,
that it's
that's
this
what it was.
longing.
Mm,
And that's the thing as well. That was the first time I had the concept that um, some souls can miss their life,
yeah.
which I didn't understand until that time. And I was like, yeah, because they feel like, and this is where the idea of gone too soon is, because the attachment of this experience to saying that I hadn't finished this and I hadn't finished that, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, and that's where some of us have stepped in and said to ourselves, I'm going to help people with that transition right there.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah.
As you understand your own, then I guess you're in a position to help others.
And it's that loss is that part that's attached to fear.
Yeah. Seeker of Search saying even Darius. Hang on, did I? Oh no,
No, no. Jay
Jay,
said, yep.
you never lose self.
Self.
This human experience and avatar are not the true self. Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Seeker of Souls saying even Darius talks about this. I think as long as we come back to this realm, truth can't really be known unless experienced by the self. Translating, it is the biggest difficulty. Well, I'm going to say some things about that.
Hang
Yes.
on and read the second part as well.
Okay, then. And by self, I don't mean individual, more so the real part of all of us that is beyond beliefs and mind games, like how we're receptive to telepathic communication, that real self. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, like Darius mentioned before, but I would say even if he didn't, the truth is, if you really think about it, even if he never mentioned it, every aspect of the truth has to be experienced on your own. This, I don't know anyone that can vouch for truth, even if it's in relation to themselves and hasn't experienced that of which they talk about. If not, it's somebody else's idea, and it's always been like that, or be or not. It's then you can't talk of truth. So it's
I think it's shared experiences as well. It's shared experiences of this realm. And that's the whole point. It's hard, it's difficult to
mm,
translate. That's the difficulty. And that's what everyone's efforting to do, to translate it into words so it could be felt and understood.
yeah.
Hence why there's a movement of this OBE to actually go and experience it for yourself. Because me explain it, I can show you better than I tell you. That
Yeah, that's
type of feel.
that definitely. But think about it. Even your truth, even before you even had the notion of OB, even a truth, something you've okay, the mermaid story,
Mm,
you've experienced yourself. That's why you know it to be true. Now, for somebody else's, they don't know that, so they cannot vouch for it. Anyway, it's always been truth. It's always been that it of which you've. It's
it's
there's
your,
no other way to experience truth, but
and other than that, it's
yourself.
trust.
The rest is trust.
It's truth and trust.
Yeah, it's and then you get into the world of axiom and pre-idea or someone's ideas is put on you and whatnot.
I guess, yeah,
So
I can see why that
yeah,
would be, and that's the difference as well, though, sweet, because you're somebody who needs to know for themselves, but not everybody feels like they need to know for themselves to trust the truth. Because if you really, really step into it, how would you know truth if you say never had an OB, never experienced a mermaid, but you
then
know it to be
like you say,
true?
you're in the trust system. You trust the truth. You don't know truth.
Yeah, but then think about it. How does something not resonate with you?
You know your intuition. You true you the truth now. Your truth is your intuition. You in truth. You your truth is you know your intuition don't fail you.
Is
That
your
is
knowing of
yeah.
yourself. So
Yes.
then, whether or not you've done it via out of body or in body or whatever it is, that's the piece, the
Yeah.
knowing thyself, the trusting that part of you, the real part of you that
Yeah.
does telepathy, has intuition, has gut feelings,
Well,
that
it
bit
start
that
it start
resonates or
exactly.
doesn't resonate with
Your truth
things.
is you have an intuition that you trust. That's your truth. Then this can lead to other things, which means that you say, "Oh, my intuition is telling me basically I can practice say telekinesis." Then you try. There's people out there doing telekinesis, moving things.
Mm,
Then let's say you practice, you move a stone with your mind. Now that become your knowing of the truth, right?
yeah,
You don't. It's like a gradual experience, but it is ultimately always been. If not, you're asking for somebody else's to tell you this is true or not.
yeah.
So there's
But then,
never been
but
any
then
other ways.
that's why I'm saying it's still going to be trust, because it's not everything that each of us came to experience. You see what I'm saying?
Then your truth is you're going to rely on your trust to know the truth.
Okay, and you're going to use your intuition, and you're going to use.
Yeah.
Okay, understood.
Now, will that unfold to a knowing? Yeah, eventually, for some cases. And sometimes the knowing is that, wow, I just was in a belief system and I realized it's all lies, whatever that is. But I'm just saying, ultimately, if you take the word truth and how you can expect, you can only experience it on your own, no matter what anyone else says.
Mm, yeah. Or other than that, you're dealing with trust.
Other than that, dealing with trust, yeah.
Okay,
Either
I can
way,
see that. And this is where the difficulty comes in, and this is why everyone is kind of like feeling the urge to want to experience what it is for
I get why.
themselves,
Yeah,
and why
yeah,
so many people are like, you know what, this is what I've experienced. You don't believe me? Go check out for
yeah.
yourself. And I love that.
And that's what Darius is like.
Is saying,
Go and do it
go and do
yourself.
it yourself,
Yeah, because
because I
ultimately,
won't go back and
it
forth with
doesn't
you
matter if you're
about what I've
from. Yeah,
experienced.
exactly. It doesn't matter. Even what I'm
Yeah.
saying now, it doesn't matter if you're from me or not. You gotta go and because you can only experience truth for yourself.
I think the piece is now everyone's open to listening to what everyone else has experienced, where before one person would experience something, they'd be shut down immediately. Hence why the mermaid story took 20 odd years to come out. Okay. But
Had one of these adults experience it themselves, then
they may have taken me to
why?
the side and had a little
It
chit
changes
chat.
everything eventually, but they have to
And
experience
this
it
is
for
why these
themselves.
communities are beautiful, because we openly share
Yeah,
our different experiences. Be like, you know what, that sounded interesting. Let me go and see.
yeah,
But you still have to, part of you has to be in that loving state of trust to see if it resonate, what they say resonates with you.
yeah. But
And
exactly,
then the willingness to trust that it resonates,
yeah.
and then move forward into exploring it for
Yeah,
yourself.
so ask yourself, what's your truth? What is your truth you're experiencing right now? But I'm willing to trust this person
And
because
be content
because
with that, because
because one
my,
thing isn't true
yeah,
for me is my intuition is on point,
and my
and
intuition
then
says
so on in it.
this is the truth.
And since I experiencing this
I get
person,
it.
since I trusted this person, that led eventually for me to have my own OBE. Then now I know the truth
For
of that, or which
myself.
that person I trusted. But yeah, and that's just the only way. But that's what I was saying. Whether it's OB or not, it doesn't matter. Think about the truth in itself, what you're saying.
And this is what this realm is about.
And is what this realm is about.
Which is why secret sauce brought it up in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's a very
that is the
interesting
biggest
point of view.
difficulty. It's the translating, and that's why
Mm.
we were given language and the whole part of the separation of it to make that game that one layer more.
Well, this is why we were going to mention the idea of life review in the first place.
And do you guys believe in life reviews? And if so, it's not believe in it, meaning is it true or not? I'm saying, do you believe you need to have one? Do you want to have one? Are you interested in having one? Or are you just interested in experiencing someone else's, or experiencing your own for the sake of seeing it?
Let me tell you my truth about this. My truth. My truth is this. If anything gets presented to me as I have to, therefore it is not true freedom. And what I mean by that, I have to have a life review. No, fuck it don't. And I'm sure, Jay, you're going to resonate with me on that one because I know you're big on that. You're like, and it's not out of fear because I don't think because you have a life review has to be bad, and always the bad thing you do is everything what do you say, encompass,
It encompasses, yeah.
it encompasses everything. But hey, there you go.
Yeah. So Creo was saying, to summarize every eventual dream in OBE, that I was in a kindergarten
Classroom.
classroom, setting the setting to relearn how to do telekinesis. And the professor showed us a video. Okay, kids, moving and lifting things with their mind. Okay, that's my point. Like,
No, there you go.
you, that is what's beautiful, because that's an instance that you're experiencing right now that you get into, jump into and jump out of. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where you come back to the truth of what you are. You're just everything, the everything and expansive, like what Jay's saying. Look, true. The true self is everything and expansive. And then it's not. And then it is. It's so limitless right here in this realm. It's hard for us to quantify. And like Source of Secret Source was saying, that's the difficulty of trying to communicate it. Put it into words, put it into a box. Maybe it shouldn't be put into a box or put into words. Maybe some things are supposed to be ineffable and
Yeah.
left to be such, and just left to be enjoyed and explored and shared, and that's it. All right.
So Jay is saying, correct, the true self is everything and expansive. This is only
Only.
one reality. The realities are infinite. It's just hard to wrap the human mind around the infinite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And MJ is saying, I think Corey has a flow state with Sasha discount code for a really good zeolite supplement. He really likes it.
Yeah. I know that
Mm.
Corey, I don't know if he's still with it, but Masterpiece. So if you go onto Corey's channel, I'm sure he has all of his codes there. And if that floats your boat, then look into it, because I know he did an interview with the guy, and he it worked for Corey. It worked for himself. So yeah, get into it if that's your interest, for sure.
Absolutely.
You can either find him at Soul Traveler 77, or you can either find him at The Great Unlock. Yeah. His link is either there, or you can go in our description under where we've done collaborations with him, and his link is right there as well. Okay.
Hi, Shelby.
Hey, Shelby.
Cryo, you saying another thing? Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, the dream starts feeling more real when I start moving stuff. I remember picking up her glass jar and just dropped in front of the
Of the
class,
class.
and a professional who did that.
Who did that?
Oh, okay. Who did that? Okay. Lied to him and say it might be
A
a
ghost.
ghost. Yeah.
These are all the dope things that we're like remembering about ourselves,
Yeah.
and how each of us are coming to that realization, quite frankly, is like, that's the beauty of this unfolding of what we know to be life here, and what we know that our expansion can look like.
Hey, Sasha.
Hey, Sasha.
Good to see you here.
We were just talking about
Yeah,
you.
and I love what you're saying, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation, because I'm seeing already, like you just started. Love this conversation, guys. Truth can't be conceptualized.
Yes.
Looking forward to Thursday.
Yes. Yes. That might be something we can chat about. I'm just putting it out there, guys. So yeah, like I said, comment section, and then some posts will be coming up so that you can write out your questions if you have any for Sasha, or you want us to cover any topics. Truth being conceptualized can be one of them. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. So, Avocat.
What if you have experience, it's truth but hard to trust it, because only thing you remember is before and after the experience? Oh, there's many experiences like that. That's basically
That's a Tuesday.
The intuition. Like I said, if you want to take a bite, and it's very true what Sasha say. Trying to conceptualize truth, it's a very challenging thing to do. However, if we talk about truth of the way we mean it here on this realm, then
It's
you,
very limited because
I
we're in a
trust that I
limited
have an
realm.
intuition now. Um, it's more than a trust. I know it's true. I have an intuition, but how far do I trust my intuition? That's for me to determine what is true to me on that spectrum.
And that's why the intuition is one of the most attacked things. Trusting yourself is one of the most things that are attacked here,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
it's the one thing that you're left with if you're not dreaming, or if you're not coming out of body, or if you're not doing any of those things. It's like that one last stick in the sand that you
Yes,
have to hold on
yeah.
to. It's that one last thing where it's like, okay, I don't do none of this,
But
but I got my gut feeling.
to my interpretation, my opinion, intuition, probably alongside of imagination, is the sharpest tool you'll have in your toolbox.
Yeah, and I feel like they're the
So
most readily available to everybody,
you
but
have,
the most overlooked.
yes, and attacked on as well.
Yeah,
So
from birth, it's
yeah.
like you got head in the clouds, hello, tête en l'air,
Yeah, big time.
oh la la, tête en l'air, and then you've got, and then you've got, you're a daydreamer, like,
Yeah,
and it's always put onto somebody who is like considered lazy, unrealistic, out of touch with reality.
yeah,
So that's that handled, right?
exactly.
And then you get your intuition, and it's like you're a warrior. You're worrying. You over worry. What are you thinking about? You are somebody who's
Oh, you're sensitive.
pessimistic. You're sensitive.
Mm,
All of these things to talk you out of your own knowing.
yeah, yeah. Or you're making shit up. So,
Or you're just an out and out liar.
but
Yeah, that too.
I think is, or you're overreacting. The thing is, you're supposed to sharpen these tools. That's, you know, what
Yeah.
what I would say.
And as far as trusting what's going on in the middle, even if you don't quite remember, but then the beginning and the end, how I like to do it is just say to myself, then it doesn't matter. And if it does matter, it will cut, the information will reveal itself to me.
Yeah,
And I like to go by the feeling, which is where my intuition comes in. What was I feeling on my way in, and what was I feeling on my way out?
and you're using your body in conjunction to it as well.
Yes, I do. I use my vessel for
Mm.
that. You know, what's my gut telling me? What was did I have shivers? You know, what was the whole situation saying? Yeah, use what you have to get to the information that you want to get to. And you have your vessel here, you have your imagination here, you have your intuition here. Just begin to exercise them to
But
your will.
it works to exercise these things to learn how to feel, and this is why, I mean, essentially the guided meditation you're doing, know to speak to yourself and do all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never had one. So John is saying I've never had one, but I don't discount others' experiences anymore. Everyone is valid. You know, unless they reveal that they weren't as forthright about it, it's all valid and part of a big picture. And that's how I like to look at it as well, because there's been things that I've said, okay, I've never experienced that before. Let me go and check it out for myself. And then for some reason, my soul has been like, nah, I'm not interested in that. And I've gone somewhere else. Or I have, but then I've seen something else about something they didn't actually reveal. And I got my own version of that and my own experience. And there's been times where that experience has not been said to be experienced, but then I found out very, very much later that the person just didn't want to speak on that part. So it's, you still got to hold true to that which you resonate with, which your intuition tells you. And these are all things you could do from your sofa at home, guys. Like a couple of
yeah,
biscuits, sit down and just feel it out.
yeah.
Don't try and make an elitist situation out of this.
we
We've all got these tools
we are going to
to
probably go
bounce now.
to
Yeah.
go in about what, 7 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know as well, Shem is doing guided meditation every Saturday.
Yeah.
So you can register for it if you're interested, or just post the link in the chat but you can also find the community post for it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Thank
every
you for,
Saturday.
yeah, sorry, go on, go on,
So
go
for
on.
the time, you will have to, because we had a little bit of a,
The
uh,
issue is that Americas have already gone over to daytime saving and the UK has not. So GMT doesn't change to BST, which is British saving time, summertime, until the 29th of March. But apparently the whole of the US has already changed over. So just go by the time that is GMT and you won't go wrong, and do your own translation around
yeah,
that,
I was
depending
going to
on
say.
where your location is in the world. But thank you for everyone who attended last time. It was a really transformative experience, and it's something that I hope to continue to develop with everyone because it was powerful, and I got to connect to a lot of souls that I kind of like felt like, wow, I know you. Yeah, I know you. So it's wonderful, and I really enjoyed it, and it was great. So thank you, and I'll see you next Saturday, or I'll see you the Saturday after that. I'll be here regardless.
Yeah, so
Um,
Saturday, 22nd of March, the next one.
yeah,
Jay saying some of these being are a trip. Now I am experiencing the cool breeze on the air
ear
effect
effect.
on the air effect periodically throughout the day indoors. It's been 80, 90 degrees here for the past 2 weeks.
Some hot ass shit.
Some hot shit, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then Avoca saying this happened at the beach and I ended up in the middle of the ocean.
All right.
Wow. Okay. That sounds like, honestly, that sounds like a mermaid story. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just putting that out there. I'm gonna put that out there. Because I could have sworn down I remembered all of my honeymoon, and then I had a whole download about it, and turns out I didn't. Some of it's still coming back to me. So hey,
So Diana is saying, yes, it was absolutely wonderful. My goal is to do each one. Tashem, it literally exactly what I needed. Such a powerful and beautiful experience.
yeah, thanks for sharing that with all of us. Like it was a vibe. Thanks, Diana. Thank you. Thanks for coming. I'm looking forward to next week's one. And what is beautiful is like going by the group and what the group needs at that given time. I love leaning into the moment with it because then we can all get the best out of the experience. So, yeah, I'll see you all next Saturday. And until then, we've got the 19th with Sasha.
Yeah. So hang on.
Juicy conversation. That's
I
coming
think
up
it's Friday,
Thursday.
right?
That's coming up
Friday. Hang
Thursday.
on. What am I talking
Thursday.
about? 19th. Yeah, Thursday. Thursday.
Yep, 3
Next
p.m.
week. Yep.
GMT.
GMT. And we've got another thing as well coming up, right?
Yeah, we do.
Soon as
We've
well.
got Saturday. We're gonna have. Oh, we got the Great Unlock on Wednesday.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. And
Well, not the event. It's our
no,
live.
we do our
We're
live. We
doing.
got our live panel.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we've got our Sunday again, which is going to
Yes.
be wonderful.
Yeah, that's right.
And then I'm going live on Friday and doing a collective reading, and everyone can chime in, and I'll see what comes up. It was the last Friday's live. Friday was like I was a live wire on Friday, and yo, that night I crashed. I crashed out. My body. I wasn't gone like mentally. I was fine. Spiritually, I was fine, but the energies of the day was just so like expansive. It was lovely. Everyone is heading to places and being so courageous about the next steps in their life. And I'm excited about it. It was excitement. That's what I went to sleep feeling excited. So yeah, we will see you all of next week. Thank you all for sharing what you do and your experiences and expanding the conversation for everyone. And every time you lot share something, it's opening up an opportunity for other people to hear it from other people's points of view. And you never know what your story is going to mean to someone else and how it's going to speak to them. So thank you for that.
Absolutely. And also we have a Discord for the community. Some of you guys already member. So yeah, go and check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Diana.
Thank you,
And
Diana.
thank you for everyone who shared. All
All
right,
right.
guys.
Have a great Sunday.
Much love.
Much
Ciao.
love. Ciao.